naturopath from New Zealand. Thanks for coming back. Let's talk about a parasite cleanse case study. This is quite an interesting one. This is a 34-year-old lady I saw last year. In fact, not that long before I retired. I first saw this patient, I'm pretty sure it would have been January 2019. I worked with her for about 6 months, and the result was fantastic. It's an awesome result. Now, this lady travels widely. She's got a particular occupation. Well, travel's all gone now, isn't it, with COVID? But this woman flew all over the place taking photographs. So she's quite a well-known international photographer based here in New Zealand. She's a gay lady. She's a lovely lady. She's got a really cool partner. And for a long time, she had a bowel problem. Many years, in fact. I think it was 7 years all up. The bowel was on and off problematic, which really caused her a lot of grief. It's not unusual to pick up parasites, you know, when you go to Africa and, you know, you travel all around the world, especially camping out in weird locations in the jungle, taking pictures of orangutans and 1 minute and taking pictures of Donald Trump the next, all right, or whatever she was doing. Well, so of course this lady went to her medical doctor several times, and generally she got antibiotics. That's what they gave her every single time, antibiotics. Then she went to a naturopath, and they gave natural antibiotics. You know, they were basically looking at bowel cleanses, liver flushes. She's had colonics, she's had meditation, she's had everything you can name is thrown at this woman. Everything. Probably the only thing she didn't get was a bowel removed, but she's had every other kind of treatment. But one thing she didn't get, which I found almost hard to believe, she didn't get a stool test, okay? Well, she got one initially by the doctor that showed Blastocystis hominis, in 2 samples. And initially the doctor dismissed it, said, look, everyone's got blasto now in New Zealand and Australia, lots of people have got it, we don't worry about it. And she said, well, I won't worry about it because I'm going to the toilet several times a day and I've got a bad bowel problem and I need it fixed. Antibiotics. There you go. This is what we give everybody, okay? I'm sure sometimes these medical doctors have got a dartboard with different drugs on it and they just throw, oop, today we're going to give, let's have a look, bing, let's give this one today. I mean, it's almost like that, isn't it? I mean, if you're in and out of a room in 5 minutes, I mean, the dartboard's probably hanging up on the back of the door. And before you knock on the door, they've already got the dart in the back of the door. They know what they're going to give you. It doesn't work like that. Sorry. So what happened to this lady? She came to see me, as I mentioned, early in the year. And we did a stool test straight up. We found Blastocystis. We found it in all 3 samples. But we also found Candida. We found multiple issues with this person. So the first thing I did with her basically was make a slight diet change, okay? I told her to stop eating out completely. No coffees when you go out. I said, from now on, you're going to stay home. We want you to stay home for at least 12 to 16 weeks, which she was prepared to do. And I slowly over that 12 to 16 week period, I changed the diet. Just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And eventually I had her eating a lot more stuff like grated and raw carrots, grated and raw beetroot. So every day she'd have a little bit of that, you know, just a small amount. We also looked a lot more at steamed vegetables, spinach once or twice a week, broccoli generally every day, you know, and just very lightly steamed. And also light protein, fish protein, which we've got abundant in New Zealand, high quality, cheap fish. So fish was basically what she was eating, and vegetables, not much else. She lost a bit of weight, but meanwhile that bought me time to interpret the tests more, do more advanced stool testing, and really understand the gravity of the problem. This woman had a serious parasite problem. So I started on Candida Remove, but when I put her on 1 tablet per day, okay, she immediately, within 2 days, she got back to me. She said, I've got a bad headache, I can't tolerate it, I'm not doing this shit, I'm sick of it, had enough. So I said, okay, let's stop the Candida Remove, and let's just keep you on this diet for a while. Let's add a tiny little bit of raw garlic into your diet, which she couldn't tolerate at all, made her sick immediately. So then we add a little bit of cooked garlic into the diet. But I also said to her, I want you to get, with your main meal, 1 or 2 cloves, you know, the aromatic cloves. So put 1 clove into your dish, you know, meal. And again, slowly we built that up until she could tolerate 2 to 3 cloves per day, then the garlic, then the raw garlic, and then tiny bowel change at this stage. Okay, so instead of going to the toilet 5-6 times a day, she was going now 3 times a day for bowel motion. Changes were occurring. I remember this case well. I spent a lot of time with her. She was a very interesting lady. And then I started to put the Candida Remove tablet into this person's diet. So we started first with a very, very tiny amount of Candida Remove. Now, when you've got a major parasite problem and you immediately drop 3 or 4 Candida Removes into your tummy, it can really cause a lot of pain, griping pain, all sorts of issues. So you can get a tablet cutter and cut the tablet into 4, 5, 6, even 10 pieces, okay? So we started with a slither of Candida Remove, and then slowly over a period of about a month, I built that up to 1 tablet per day. It took a long time before she could tolerate 1 tablet without like instant nausea. And then once 1 tablet was established for several days in a week, we got to 1.5 and eventually 1 3 times per day. So we kept that going, and then I started putting Candida Restore on top of that. And again, she had to open the capsule, sprinkle a bit on the food initially, and then eventually we could go up to 3 of those per day. So the Candida formulations, we kept going and going. And then we did a stool test. We withdrew the supplements for 10 days, did a stool test, and it came back and it was incredible. We could see already a lot of changes occurring in the microflora, okay? But she was feeling better in herself. Not much bowel change, still 3-4 times a day, loose motions, still quite weak, had gained only a little bit of weight. So then I pushed things a lot further. I started to put sauerkraut into the diet, but we started with a teaspoon per day. This is a mistake a lot of people make. Excuse me. With ferments or cultured foods, they go straight away to a whole bowl twice a day or something. You can't do that. Okay? With a serious case like in this, you have to start slowly and slowly build up and slowly build up. Right? After the sauerkraut went in there, she liked the sauerkraut, so that was good. So we had a serve of that every day. And then we slowly introduced a bit of yogurt into the diet. Right? Now this is coming from a woman who is having 3 or 4 latte coffees every day with a couple of sugars in them. She was having a nice piece of cake with a coffee with a girlfriend, with her partner in the morning, whatever. Her diet was good, but there was too much crap in the diet. I was stunned that the naturopaths didn't do much about the diet. Right? The doctors, well, they didn't care about the diet, do they? They'd probably tell you to drink a glass of wine when you take your antibiotics anyway. So at this stage, she was improving, but she also had my attention because she'd been feeling better than she had in a long, long time. Right? And that's when she became far more compliant. And that's when we sunk the boot in. Okay? We did a total of 3 stool tests. Now, by sinking the boot in, I mean we pushed the Candida Remove hard. We went to 6 tablets a day of Candida Remove. I pushed it really hard. And that's when we got the breakthrough that we were looking for when we upped the dose. We were doing 2-week intervals of up to 6 tablets per day. And it was incredible. I got a very excited email off this lady saying that she couldn't get over how one day she woke up and she passed a perfectly formed bowel motion. First time in like 6 or 7 years that came out as one nice big motion. She was shocked. So, and of course I got all these photos, of bowel motions and stuff. And so I opened my inbox, sitting there with a nice espresso coffee, and then a bowel motion pops up. But I'm used to that. Tracy, my partner, is used to seeing all sorts of bowel motions, so don't worry, it's my job. But I was excited because I saw this firm bowel motion. I said, wow, look at this poo. It's a good looking poo. I said, we're getting good work with this lady here. So a really nice, well-formed stool, minimal pain, bloating and gas is a sign the bacteria are coming back, okay? You're getting that bacterial balance back again. So what we did is we stopped the Candida Remove. We waited 14 days. We started again for another 14 days at a high dose, all right? And this time we got a bit of a regression, a setback, all right? Which is perfectly normal for someone who's been sick for a long time. Right? So we did a few of these cycles on and off. Now when I give high dose Candida Remove, I generally recommend anywhere between 3 to 4 Candida Restore capsules per day as well. They can be taken in the morning or with meals, it's up to you. So we did several cycles, okay, and then we stopped, and then I let her go for 4 weeks. She came back to me and everything was hunky-dory. Is that a saying people use still, hunky-dory? Everything was cool, let's say cool. So, and a wonderful patient, and I got really nice small gift she sent me, and which I feel embarrassed. I don't need gifts from people, but sometimes they send me flowers or stuff like that. But I was so happy for her because finally she had the health that she'd been looking for many years. So remember, guys, persistence breaks resistance. Okay, sometimes you have to give high dosages, sometimes low, sometimes you've got to tread carefully. If you've got a parasite problem, don't give up. Keep your foot on the head of the snake the whole time. Okay, sometimes you can back off, but don't take your foot away and walk away, because the snake will come back and bite you in the butt. All right, you've got to keep the pressure on. Now you may not feel good, then back off a little bit, then keep pressure, and eventually that persistence of yours will break the parasite resistance. Thanks for tuning in.